When I go out to open readings, I always sign up on the list as another fucking idiot. That way when the MC gets to my number, he has to say, and next up on the list is another fucking idiot. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm round of applause for... Let's give an old-fashioned San Francisco welcome to... Is there another fucking idiot in the audience? Don't all raise your hands at once. In the phone book, my name would be idiot, comma, another fucking. Woo! This one's called Mr. Satisfaction. Last summer, I spent my vacation driving across America visiting all my ex-girlfriends. None of them knew I was coming. They stood on their front porches with their new husbands and children, screaming at me to go away and leave them alone. And I'd shake my fist at them and yell, "See, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have all this." And I'd magnanimously open my arms, as if to bequeath them with whatever squalor they were in, be it trailer park or mansion, because no matter how good they have it, everyone always feels their life's a living hell. I managed to reseduce a couple of my ex-girlfriends along the way, and we had sex in cheap hotels. Even though these women were cheating on their husbands to be with me, I still couldn't help feeling that they were actually somehow still cheating on me for being married to other men. I wanted to accuse their husbands of cuckolding me. Every day I'd fly into a rage when I realized all my ex-girlfriends are probably cheating on me. The whole world is cheating on me. That's why the whole world is cheating on me. That's why the world owes me an apology. As soon as people see me on the street, they should just walk up to me and say, "I'm sorry," and leave it at that. No matter how much I begged them to, none of my ex-girlfriends would actually start dating me again. I've decided to spend next summer's vacation visiting all the jobs I've ever been fired from. I might read a couple of old ones. Let's see. Has everybody heard Dada's penis pipe? Or okay. All right, I'll read that.
It's not like the Stones ever going to stop doing Satisfaction.
All right. If I can find it. It's actually in this book. All right, this one's called Dada's Penis Pipe, if I can fucking find the thing. I had everything marked, but I have too many things marked. There it is. All right, this is Dada's Penis Pipe. That summer was a dry one for potheads in Delaware. The war on drugs was in full effect, and you could find nary a roach through 2 weeks of desperate pleading phone calls, calling in every old favor. All the dealers didn't even have head stash. There was plenty of cocaine available. In fact, people were already beginning to die from it. But if you wanted the mellow weed, you were hard-pressed to find even a seed. Yet my friend Dada Trash managed to keep a connection all through that long, sober August. Over the course of the month, he hooked us up with 3 tolerable quarter ounces of Sinsemilla. The major problem, though, was that if you were at a party and wanted to catch a buzz, the odor of a joint soon electrified the clear-headed crowd with the same hungry interest when seasoned schools of sharks who have just swum through a cloud of blood. Before we were up to 3 puffs, we would find ourselves surrounded by hulking high school jocks and drooling dirtball rednecks who had suddenly become our best friends. If we passed the joint on, it never came back. And sometimes the jocks would get so desperate for us to share it, they threatened to beat us up if we didn't. Situations like this are bad enough without them being connected to a drug that already makes you paranoid. After a number of tense social scenes at a couple of parties, Dada Trash came up with a novel solution to our dilemma. He bought a 10-inch long rubber penis from a sex shop on Route 13 and put a bowl in it. The dildo was completely lifelike, hollow, and airtight. A pipe bowl was back between the balls, and on the end where the pee hole was, Dada drilled a tiny opening you had to suck through. After that, when we were at parties and somebody would ask, "Hey, you got any pot?" Dr. Trash would say, "Sure," and whip out his bag. The person would yell, "Cool," and already a crowd would be forming. Then Dr. Trash would whip out the dick bowl and say, "But we have to use my pipe." Instantly, the rednecks and jocks' heads would snap back, and they'd reflexively hold their hands up in front of their faces like he'd pulled out a turd or something. They'd been offering to let us use every bong in the house, saying things like, "Don't you think that pot would taste better in my special rolling papers, which look like an American flag?" Or, "Wouldn't you prefer a Toastmaster?" But me and Dada Trash remained firm in our choice of conduits. And we'd stick that big rubber dick in our mouths and smoke bowl after bowl, all night long, right in the middle of the crowd. Of course, we were more than willing to share and kept offering people a hit. Sometimes going so far as to jab the pipe at their faces with an almost conjugal gesture. But hardly anyone ever accepted. The rednecks and jocks would look at us with scowling faces and clenched fists. Sometimes they'd get so frustrated they'd yell out, "How come you won't smoke out of anything else?" And Dada Trash would just smile as he took a big hit. "I like this pipe," he'd say while exhaling. "It just tastes better." All right, I got one more. This is kind of a short one. It's another old one, and it's called "A Wicked Shit." It had been a long, stressful day at work, and I was already late for getting home to go to the movies with my girlfriend. Even though I had to compress my half-hour commute into 15 minutes, I couldn't leave the office yet because I had to take a wicked shit. Despite being pressed for time, I wanted to get stoned for the walk home that was fast shaping up to be a jog or even a sprint. The bathroom at work is a one-seater, so privacy is assured. The bathroom has a ceiling fan, and as long as you blow your hits through a wet paper towel, you can get stoned in there with some discretion. I was so pressed for time that I had to multitask, so my pants were down and my bowels were working as I stuffed the one-hitter and lit it up. The little chunk of bud was an orange glowing ember when it fell out of the one-hitter and landed at my feet in the crotch of my underwear, burning a smoking hole right through the fabric. As I slapped at my pants in an attempt to put the ember out, my flapping hands must have acted like a bellows, and suddenly my pants burst into flames. What was I to do? If I stood up and ran to the sink, my flaming drawers would literally cook my shit-encrusted ass. But if I just sat there, I wouldn't be in much better shape. This was a big fire. It needed water. Maybe I should call the fire department on my cell phone. While I was trying to decide what to do, the smoke alarm in the bathroom went off. So much for being discreet. And I realized this is the definition of a bad day. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, the sprinklers turn on, and the boss starts pounding on the door going, "Do you mind hurrying up in there? I really gotta go." My contribution to the new Specious Species is this really amazing interview, and it's one of these kind of lifelong goals. I actually got to interview basically a spokesperson for the residents and do a complete 40-year retrospective interview about their origins, evolution, and every aspect of their career going up to the present. It was a really amazing interview, and a band that, if you don't know them, they're one of the best, one of the most interesting rock and roll bands of the past 50 years. They're almost bordering on performance art. They appear in costume at every show. Nobody even knows how many members there are or what any of their identities are. They're really an amazing group, and check them out and check out the
Eyeball Head.
And the Eyeball Heads, yes, the famous Eyeball Heads tuxedos. Thanks, everyone.